Hello, I'm Deborah Sword.
Hi, I'm Tyson Bankert.
Tyson, we have a letter from, more of a question, comment from a listener. I'll read it and then I'd be very interested in hearing your thoughts on this. I'm struggling with friendship. To put it bluntly, I have no friends. I'd like more people in my life, but I think my points of view aren't being accepted. It feels like I'm always in conflict when I try to make friends because my opinions are so different. What can I do to reduce conflict so I can make friends and build community? What are
Mm.
your thoughts, Tyson?
Wow, I'm really grateful for the listener for asking this question. Uh, because I think building community is so important for our quality of life, and having friends is part of that. And especially when we live in a sort of a loneliness epidemic, it is more imperative than ever to have strong friendships. And so I appreciate this listener for reaching out. Uh, Well, I've got a couple of thoughts. One is I think friendships take time and trust to be built. And so this listener is saying that their points of view aren't really accepted. And so I'd be curious to know a little bit more or that questioning, what do they mean by point of view? So and maybe there's an opportunity to spend a bit more time learning about the other person's POV in order to know if that is actually conflict that will arise. Um, and this question of it feels like I'm always in conflict. I wonder how much of that is also maybe a point of view, right? What does that conflict like? What do you mean when you say that you're in conflict with others? Because I think if we are our most authentic selves in relationship with other people, like for example, you and I, we have differing opinions on things, and that's okay. And so I wonder, how competent, I guess, is this listener and able to sort of manage the conflicts that inevitably will arise in friendships. And it's unfortunate that that seems to be a repeating pattern about how they are. Maybe losing friends or not maybe gaining the same kinds of friendship that they would like. Uh, and so I'd be curious to I've challenged the other person to sort of look and explore a bit more about this idea of what it means for them to always be in conflict. And I would say, you know, even this last part here, what can I do to reduce conflicts? Is it a reduction of conflicts, or is it just our ability to actually manage them and be, conflict competent, right? So it doesn't necessarily, there are some friendships that I say can feel kind of that I have that where anytime we are together, we are managing a conflict, but that's just it's healthy, right? And so that does take skill, but I would say I'm curious to know more about that.
Yeah, those are really good points. And I also want to congratulate the listener for embarking on an exploration through self-awareness. Episode 64 is about the importance of self-awareness as part of your conflict competence. So good for you for wanting self-awareness. And I want to emphasize, Tyson, what you said about uh, the pattern. So if for example, you approach somebody, you state your opinion, they disagree with you and you react, then that's the managing your conflict piece, that there's action, reaction. And is it the action, which is you talking about your perspective, your point of view, your opinion? Or is it your reaction when somebody disagrees with you, or both? Also, want to ask if you only want to talk to people who agree with you, or if you also want to learn more from people who may have different opinions than you. And then it's that curiosity piece. So I'm going to suggest that first you be open to the possibility that it isn't your opinions that's keeping you from making friends. That as you continue your self awareness, you ask people, give me feedback on how I come across to you, and then listen to that feedback non-defensively. So that's the first thing is check in with somebody. Are they reacting to your opinion or is it something else? Second, as Tyson said, if you feel conflict when someone disagrees with you, are they also feeling that it's a conflict or are they just enjoying an ordinary conversation? Maybe you're hypersensitive to being disagreed with. So ask follow-up questions rather than being argumentative and see how that feels. As Tyson said, listen, show curiosity, ask good questions. And the last point is sometimes it isn't what you say, but how you say it. And
Mm.
when it's your turn to express an opinion, are you being lecturing and argumentative, or are you expressing openness and vulnerability and curiosity and inviting further conversation? So, if you're looking to develop your conflict competence, I hope you'll listen to other episodes because once you improve the quality of your relationships, then you have friends. Tyson, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think a little bit about this is more for everyone listening, including us, is that, our point of view can't be the only point of view. And so providing room and space for people to share, I think is really the point. And so thanks so much for the listener for sharing. And thank you, Deborah, for your great response.
And as we often say, more than two things can be opposite and correct at the same time. There isn't just one way of being in the world. Thank you for the good question. Thank you for subscribing. We hope you will subscribe. Come back, listen again, like it, share it, tell your friends about it, and ask more questions. Thank you, and we'll see you again.